Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes. You're able to see my slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Okay. So last class, let me give you a quick recap of what we were doing. Last class, we discussed two important operations, join and division, right? So we saw what is a join, how do you represent a join, what is the symbol that is used in relational algebra. Then we saw the syntax. We saw what are the differences between a Cartesian product and a join. So in Cartesian product, we'll get all possible all possible tuples, whereas in case of join, we are trying to give a particular condition, and wherever the condition is satisfied, those tuples are going to be displayed, right? So that is basically a join. So we also saw the what are the different types of outer join. We saw what is an outer join and what is an inner join. Wherever the condition is satisfied and the tuples are appear in the result, that is inner join. All our joins that we have used so far in our lab cycles are all nothing but inner join. Outer join, where we would also like to retain tuples where the condition is not satisfied. We want to retain those records also. In other words, we don't want to lose the records. That is called as an outer join. So in case of outer join, we have seen three different types. Left outer join we saw what is a right outer join, we saw what is a full outer join, we took some couple of examples. So and then we are clear with that. And inner join, as I said, wherever tuples are matching, only those tuples will appear in the result. Whereas outer join, even if the tuple is not does not have a matching tuple in the other table, even then we will retain those records. The corresponding record in the other table will be shown as null. So that is the outer join. So we saw left outer join where all the tuples of the left side table are retained. Right outer join where all the tuples of the right side table are retained. Full outer join where tuples of both the tables are retained even if the conditions are not satisfied. It is different from Cartesian product. In Cartesian product, there are no condition at all. Every possible combination will appear in the resultant table. Whereas in case of outer join, even if the condition is given, if the condition is not satisfied also, the tuple will appear in the resultant table. After that, we saw what is a join operation. What is a division operation. So we took some examples of division operation. Division operation R divided by S. So R and S are two different tables. S is a table which is a subset of R. R. Okay, so whatever attributes are there in R, we are going to take one of those attributes as our attribute of S. And then we perform the R divided by S as the operation. When you perform the division operation, as I told, it is basically used for responding to queries of the type all. Find the customers who have account in all the branches, who are the sailors who are having all the boats, or who have reserved all the boats, like that. Those kind of questions, we make use of division operation. I think that's where we stopped. Any questions still there until what we discussed in the last class? Any doubts regarding that? You can ask me now. Otherwise, we'll proceed further. So today's class, we are going to see a couple of more operations in case of relational algebra. So what is an aggregate function? What are the different aggregate functions, and what do we mean by grouping? In case of SQL, we saw already what is grouping. We made use of group by function, correct? So equivalent to group by, do we have anything that we can use in case of relational algebra? As I told you already, whatever queries we are writing in relational algebra, we should be able to write it in SQL. Vice versa, whatever queries we are trying to write in SQL, we should be able to write it in using relational algebra. So in case of SQL, we have made use of some aggregate functions like sum. We tried to make use of count, average, all these things we have seen. What are the different aggregate functions and how it can be used in SQL. And we also used group by. For every department, I want to count the number of employees, let us say. So wherever we make use of, wherever we come across this for every, then we make use of the group by function. So we have seen a couple of examples with respect to the group by function, right? Now in case of relational algebra, let us see how we can do and what are the possible aggregate functions. Okay. To specify mathematical aggregate function on collection of values from the database. Obviously, we make use of aggregate functions if you want to count or if you want to do a particular operation on a set of records, your collection of records you have. So you want to perform the operation on the entire collection. So then we make use of this aggregate function. What are the possible aggregate functions? We have sum, we have average, maximum, minimum. All this can be applied on a collection of numeric value. That's why I said you want to apply it on the values of all the records. Count of all employees. I want to find out what is the count of employees in my department or in every department, how many employees are there. So then I apply this count as an operation. So count becomes a aggregate function. We are applying it on collection of numerical values, means we are applying it on all the records, means collection of that entire record. That's why you call it as aggregate. You try to combine, that's called aggregate. Right. So count function is used to count the tuples. We all know that count is used to count. If you want to count anything, we make use of this count function. What are the other aggregate functions that are there? We have average value to find out average value. We have minimum to find out the minimum value, find the maximum value, find the sum, of course, find the count the number of values. So you can try to group all the tuples and apply this operation and then find out what is going to be the average, what is going to be the minimum. So we have seen something like select average of salary from employee. Something like that we have given in SQL, right? We also counted, or let us say we found the max of GPA. So we gave select the branch, max of GPA from student group by branch, because we wanted to find the maximum GPA for every branch, right? So we have done that. So this max of GPA we have applied there. So similarly, you can apply it here. But when you try to use it in relational algebra, the syntax is slightly different, notations are different, but the concept is the same, right? So here in case of, there in SQL, we made use of group by. Here in case of relational algebra, let us see how we can do that. Okay, look at here. This is a very important concept. How do you represent an aggregate function? So an aggregate function or an aggregate function operation is always represented using this particular symbol. Look at that symbol. That is how you write it. That symbol is called as F script or script F. Script F symbol is what is used to represent any aggregate function operation. Script F. So what is the syntax of using that? Look at this. We are going to specify the grouping attributes. That means on what attribute you have to find out, means on what attribute you want to group it, or for every branch I have to find out the number of employees, or for every branch I find the maximum GPA. So for every branch you are doing, that branch is a grouping attribute it is. So that branch will come here. Grouping attribute is based on which attribute you are trying to apply the aggregate function. That is your grouping branch. For every branch I want to do this. So every branch means branch is called there, in that case, a grouping attribute. So first you have to specify the grouping attribute here. Then you should specify this symbol. Whichever operation you are using, aggregate, whichever aggregate function you are using, this symbol has to come. This symbol indicates that you are going to make use of a aggregate function. Then comes your function list. What is function list? Function is nothing but which aggregate function you are using. I want to count, I want to sum, min, max, average. All these are nothing but aggregate function. So what is your function here? Which function, aggregate function you are using, and on which attribute? That is what you are going to specify here. Count of, or let's say average of salary. So this average is an aggregate function, salary is an attribute. So that entire thing is called as a function list. That has to come here. Followed by R. R is nothing but on which table you are trying to perform this particular operation. Right? So what is the syntax? Whenever I told you, whenever you are going to make use of any aggregate function, you have to make use of this script F operator. This symbol what I have shown here is called as a script F operator. What is the syntax of using this? First, you have to specify on which attribute you are performing the grouping. That is your grouping attribute, followed by your symbol, followed by function list. Function list is going to contain which aggregate function you are using and on what attribute you are going to use that. Understand one thing, grouping attribute is different. This function list may, whatever attribute you will put, that is different. Okay, and then followed by the table name R. This is equivalent to our what we wrote our group by. We wrote a group by function, select branch comma max of GPA from student, group by branch. We wrote like that. Same query, I can write it like this. Here will come your branch, this symbol. Function list is what? Max of GPA. That will come at this part in the function list part. R is nothing but student. Same query I am trying to write using relational algebra. That's why I said notations are different in both the cases, but you should be able to write the query in both the ways. Okay, so what is grouping attribute? It is a list of attributes, as I told you. List of attributes of the relation specified in R for which grouping is required. For every branch, that means your grouping attribute is branch. For every student, I have to calculate what some particular function. So for every student, means that student becomes your grouping attribute. Okay, so for every book, I have to find out how many have borrowed something, how many have borrowed that particular book. So book becomes your grouping attribute. What is your function list? So as I told you, function list is always written in this form. Function, attribute, pair. What is the function that you are trying to apply? On which attribute you are trying to apply? One example, that's why I gave you. What is the function that we applied? Function was max. Here we wrote max, right? And then on which we applied it on GPA. So function followed by attribute. Max of GPA. That will come here. It's always a pair because you have to specify which aggregate function you are using, on what attribute you are using that. Right? This is how you write a group by function in case of relational algebra. Let us take some examples so that things will become more clear. Any questions at this point of time? Any questions at this point of time? We will go into the example, so obviously it will become more clear to you. No questions? Okay. Okay. Look at this example. See, this is very important concept. Please pay attention. This is the syntax that I told you already. We have the grouping attributes followed by this script F, you can call it script F symbol, and then function list and then R. Look at here. Look at this particular query. This is a query. What are we doing here? We are finding out count of SSN. Grouping attribute is what? D number. Can anybody tell me what are we trying to do here? No one. No one? Nobody knows what are we trying to do?
Count the number of assistants.
Count?
Number of assistants with respect to the department number.
Yeah. So here what we are doing is, this D number, as I told, is a grouping attribute for every department. What I should do? This function list contains what? I told you function list should always contain function attribute pair. So the function that we are using is count. The attribute on which we are applying the count is SSN, which means what we are doing, we are trying to count the number of SSN. In other words, we are trying to count the number of employees for every department. For every department, I'm counting the number of employees. Apply this on the table called as employee. How can I write it in SQL here? Select D number, comma, count of SSN from employee, group by D number. That is how you try to write this. That is an SQL version. If you want to write it in relational algebra, as I said, first is your grouping attribute. That is the department. That means for every department, I want to find out the number of employees. That's a basic query here. For every department, I want to find out how many employees are there. So D number is my grouping attribute, followed by the F script, followed by F script should always be there, okay? Followed by the function that you are applying, count, on which attribute you are applying, SSN, which table you are applying, employee. Okay, this will give you the count of number of employees, that is number of employees for each department it is going to give. So select D number, comma, count of SSN from employee, group by D number. That is your SQL version of this particular query. Similarly, next one, what we are doing, for every department or for each department, I'm counting the number of employees and I'm also going to take the average salary. Count is the function, attribute is SSN on which you are applying that particular attribute. Then you have average is a function, you are applying that average on the attribute salary. What is the table on which you are applying all this? Employee. What is the grouping attribute? It is D number. That means for every department or for each department, I am going to find out the count of employees. I'm going to also find out the average salary. D number is my grouping attribute. So select D number, comma, count of SSN, comma, average of salary from employee, group by D number. Whatever is your grouping attribute or whatever you will give in SQL followed by group by, that should come here first in case of relational algebra. All right, same thing we have shown here. Okay, any questions, doubts in this at this point regarding the scriptf attribute or scriptf or aggregate functions? Any questions, any doubts? No questions? Okay, next is, this is our schema diagram which we have already seen earlier. We are going to take some couple of queries and some example queries to see how we can write in relational algebra. Okay. Now, the first example query what I have taken is retrieve the name and address of all the employees who work for the research department. Name and address of all the employees who work for the research department. Which are the tables that you have to access for this? Name and address of all the employees who work for the research department is what I have to find out. So I have to display name and address. Which are the tables that I have to access for this? Anyone? That's why I put the schema here so that you will be able to see and answer. I have to display the name and address of all the employees who are working for the research department. Okay, so what are the tables that you will have to access? No one is there today. I'll mark all of you absent and let's finish the class.
Ma'am, employee and department.
Employee and
Department table.
Department.
employee and department. Is that all? Name and address of all employees who are working in the research department. How do you go about identifying? How do you go about writing this query? Even in SQL, how do you write this query? Anyone? You have to find the name and address of all the employees who are working in the research department. So research here is the name of the department. Okay, so since it is the name of the department, it comes in the department. From here I have to fetch this. This is already given to us where D name is research. So I have to find out who are all the people. All these names and address I have to find out who are all working in the research department. How do you write this query? Can you put it in the chat? Even in the SQL only you tell me, not necessarily relational algebra, I will tell you how to write. How do you write this query in SQL? Anyone? Select from employee where, from employee department where department research. Darshan, you are not checking. You have to check, no? With how is this? See, department and your employee is connected by your D number. You have to check E.D number with employee.E number, employee.E number with department.E number. That has to be checked up. That foreign key, primary key join you have to do, and then only you can try to print. You haven't done that part, so it's partly right, but it's not completely correct. Yeah, see here, when you do, you have to find out name and address of employees who are working for research department. So first what I will do, from this department table, I will take out all the employees who are working in the research department. That is possible where the research name is research, sorry, department name is research. I try to pull out all the employees. Once I get those employees, I can find out what is the name and address of those employees, because I have this D number, which is a common attribute by which I'm trying to connect these two tables. Okay, now let us see in case of relational algebra, how can I go about writing this particular query. Look at here. First, what I am doing, I am taking, this is a temporary table. Research underscore department is a temporary table. What is the operation that I am doing? I have broken this into several parts first, so that you will get to understand. Then I have combined it. Okay. So what I have done here, I have taken a select operation. Select D name is equal to research. I am applying this on the department. So select will do what? It will do a horizontal partition of the table. Select, it will do a horizontal partition of the table, means wherever this particular condition is satisfied, D name is equal to research. Wherever this condition is satisfied, those particular tuples will be displayed in the result. And that result where I am storing it in a table called as research underscore department. So what is this research underscore department going to contain now? It is going to contain all the records wherein the D name is research. It is going to contain only those records where the D name is research. All the columns will be displayed, but not all the rows, because we are applying a select operation. Okay, now I know who are the people who are working in research department. Now, what do I do next? See here. I will take this particular table, because this table contains now a smaller result. It contains people who are working in research department. So I will try to perform a join between this research table and employee. What is the condition that I am taking? D number is equal to D number. So wherever D number is equal to D number. That I will try to retrieve and put it in the research employees, research underscore EMPS is another new table that I am taking. I will put it here. So what is this going to contain? It will contain all the attributes of employee as well as research department. It will contain everything because you are doing a join, but it will not contain all the tuples. It will contain only those tuples where this condition is satisfied. So now I have got all the details. I mean, that means all the attributes of employees there in my research EMPS table. All the attributes of research department is also there in the research EMPS table, but it contains only those tuples where there is details of employees who are working in research department, because we have applied it on this particular table research department. So it will contain all these attributes, F name, L name, all that. Plus it will also contain all these attributes, D name, D number, MGR SSN, MGR start date. But what do we want? We want only the name and address. That's all. I don't want all the columns of employee and department. We have at this research EMPS will already, it contains now the details of employees who are working in research department, but it contains all the details. I don't want all the details. So what will I do? I will apply a project operation on this research EMPS. So this is containing all the attributes. From that, I will only remove F name, L name and address. So I will get only those results, those columns. I don't want all the details of employees and all the details of department table. Okay. So this is how you try to write this query in case of relational algebra. If you were to write in SQL, as somebody had put it, so you are trying to retrieve what you have to display, name and address. So what I have told, immediately after select, you should be putting this name and address. We don't have name here, so we have to put select F name, middle initial, last name, and then I'll also put D number and department name from employee and department. Also you have to take where D number of employee is equal to D number of department. That's all. And D name is equal to research. That's how you give it in SQL. But in case of relational algebra, this is how I will write it. Name and address of all the employees who work for the research department. So first part I am trying to do is apply a select operation on the department table. So wherever the department name is research, only those records will be retrieved, and I'm storing it in the research underscore DEPT table. So now I have all the employees who are working on the research department. Okay, but I don't want everybody. I want to retrieve the employees who are there in research department, right? So what I will do, I am trying to apply a join operation. D number is equal to D number on the employee table and research department table. When I apply that, I will get all the attributes of employee. All this will come because you are applying a join. All these attributes plus all the attributes of department will also come. Where it will be there stored, you will store it in research underscore employees. So this research underscore employees, already now it contains all the details of all the employees who are working in the research department. But I don't want all the details. What do I want? I want only name and address. So that's why I'll apply a project operation on this research underscore EMPS. So when I apply a project F name, L name, address on this research EMPS. So whatever attributes are there, from that I'm trying to pull out only these three. So I get the final result. Any doubts on how we can write? Is it clear how we have to write it in relational algebra and how to write it in SQL query? Both you should understand, I'm telling you. It's not sufficient that you understand one. Okay, let's take one more example. Look at the query. For every project located in Stafford, List the project number, the controlling department number, the department manager's last name, address, and date of birth. This much I have to find out. For every project which is located in Stafford, so I have to, project location is given in project table. This P location, this should be Stafford. First I have to retrieve all the projects that are located at this location. For every project that is located in that location Stafford, what I should find out? I should find out what is the project number that I can get from project table only, no problem. Controlling department number, that also I can get. Department manager's last name, address, and birth date. Where do I get that from? So that I will get it from the, first I have to find out who is the manager for that department, then that particular department's employee's last name, first name, I have to find out. Did you understand the query? What does it say? For every project which is located in Stafford, list the project number. Okay. Controlling department number, which is a department that is controlling that particular project. That I'll have to find out. Then who is the manager I need to find out. For that, once I know which department is controlling, I'll have to know who is the manager of that department and what is his name, address, and date of birth. This much I have to find out. So first what I can do, I can find out what are all the projects at the location Stafford, because P location is available at project table. So the first step is what? I will try to find out what are all the projects that are there in Stafford. Okay. They are telling we should display the corresponding project number. We will get it from project table itself, because project table contains project location as well as number. We will get it from here. Next, what I should do, for each of these projects which are located in Stafford, now I have got the list of, I can find out from here. Let's say select P number, select P number from project where P location is equal to Stafford. I will get all the projects that are there in Stafford. Once I get that, for each of the P numbers that I have, suppose I have obtained 4 projects. For each of these 4 projects, I have to find out which is a department that is controlling it. So I have to now start checking D number is equal to D number of project. D number of project equal to D number of department. I have to start checking, so I will get to know which project is being, or which department is controlling this particular project. Now, once I know which department is controlling each of these projects, I can find out who is the manager of that particular department. So that I have to, how do I do that? I'll have to check SSN of employee with MGR SSN of department. So I will get to know who is the manager. Once I get to know who is the manager, it is not difficult for me to find out what is his birth date, last name, and first name. That's how I should write this particular query. So first what I should do, find out all the projects which are at the location Stafford. So I will apply a select operation. Select where P location is equal to Stafford. Apply that on project. What is this? Select star from project where P location is equal to Stafford, if I have to write it in SQL. And that I am storing it in Stafford underscore projects is one temporary table on which I am storing the result. So this Stafford underscore projects, what is it containing now? It is containing all the projects that are running in the location Stafford. Okay. Next, what I should find? I have to find out which is the department that is controlling each of these projects which are running in Stafford. So what do? I will take this particular table and apply a join on this table and department table by giving dnum is equal to d number, so that I will get to know which department is controlling each of these projects. Once I get to know the department, I told you, where am I storing this data? I am storing it in control underscore department. So this control underscore department is going to contain the list of projects along with the department number. That is what you are going to get, because you are checking for this particular condition. Now, once I know which department is controlling that particular project, I can always find out who is the manager of that particular project, or sorry, manager of that particular department. So what I am doing on this particular table, which contains my department number, I will do a join along with employee, wherein I am checking MGR SSN is equal to SSN. So I get to know who is the manager of that particular department. So once you know the manager of that department, what I should find out, I don't want all the details. So I want only what they have asked. We have to display project number. We have to display the department which is controlling that project and the manager's last name, address and birth date. This is all is asked. See here, for every project located in Stafford, list the project number. So I am listing the project number. Controlling department number, I am listing that also. Manager's last name, so that I am doing. Address I am doing. Birth date I am doing. Where do I get all this information from? This project department manager. On this, I will apply a project. So when I apply a project, it will vertically partition the table, remove only these attributes, but not all the attributes of that table, and then I get the result. Did you follow? How did we arrive at the result? Any doubts? No doubts? So I'll summarize this again. Okay. So what did I say? We have to find. I'm just giving you once again a clarification on this. So what are we supposed to find out? For every project located in Stafford, you will have to break your query into smaller parts so that it will become easy for you to write down smaller queries, and then you can combine them and put it as a final query. Either in SQL you do like that, or in relational algebra, both the way. Whenever you try to solve a complex query, it's always better to do like that. So first step is I have to find out what are the first I have to find out what are all the projects that are there in Stafford. So I will write a query. Select star from project where P location is equal to Stafford. Simple. I will get all the projects which are running in the location Stafford. How do I write it in relational algebra? I will put a select operation. Select P location is equal to Stafford on project. That's it. The result. What is the result? All the projects that are in Stafford, I'm storing it in Stafford underscore projects. Next. Once I know what are the projects, I have to find out which is the department that is controlling that project. So we have an attribute here called as DNUM. I'll have to check this DNUM with the D number of department. So I will get to know which department is controlling each of the projects at the location Stafford. So I will write one more query wherein I am applying a join. D number is equal to D number. Which are the tables on which I am applying? This table, which contains all the projects at Stafford, plus I apply it on the department table. So I will get, for all the projects that are there in Stafford, I will get to know which is the department which is controlling it. I will simply store it in another simple table called as control department. Now, once I know which department is controlling the project, I can always find out who is the manager of that particular department. So I'll use this table again. What is this table containing? It contains all the projects at Stafford and which is a department that is controlling that project. That much information is there in control department. I will apply a join between that and employee to find out who is the manager. So I will check MGR SSN is equal to SSN. Since it is a join and I'm storing it in project department manager, this will contain this particular table, project department manager, it will contain all the attributes that are there in control department and all the attributes that are there in employee. It will contain all the attributes. But I don't want all the attributes. What do I want? I want only these, because that is what is asked in the query. This much only is asked. So I will vertically partition this table, pull out only these columns so that I get the final result. That is how you try to solve this particular query. I will take one more query. Next query is find the names of employees who work on all the projects controlled by the department number 5. This is a little different. All the projects, find the names of employees who work on all the projects. So all is coming. What we should use? All the projects controlled by department number 5 means I have to use the division operation. I have to use the division operation. Name of employees who work on all the projects which are controlled by department number 5. How am I finding this out? Look here. This is an inner query. I am applying a, first what I am doing, I am applying a select operation. Project number is equal, department number is equal to 5 on project. Here you have a department variable. Okay. Wherever department number is equal to 5, I will remove all those records. Which means what? I am trying to retrieve all the projects which are controlled by the department number 5. That is what I am trying to do here. Wherever this should be dnum. Wherever dnum is equal to 5, pull out those projects. Now, I will get all the attributes. I will get all these. When I do a select operation, what will happen? I will get P name, I will get P number, I will get P location, I will get wherever department number is 5. I will get all the 4 attributes. But I am not interested in all the attributes. So what will I do? I want only the projects, that's all. So I will apply a project on that, wherein from all the 4 attributes, I will remove only project number. So I will get the number of all the projects numbers which are being controlled by the department number 5. I will store that in a table called as department 5 underscore projects with renaming this P number as P and O. Okay. I am renaming the attribute. So this table department 5 underscore projects now will contain what? It will contain one attribute called pnum, which is going to hold all the projects which are controlled by the department number 5. Next what I am doing? I am finding out, because we have to find out what? We have to find out the names of employees who are working on that projects, right? So that is available where? I can go to this works on. Who are the employees who are working on those particular project? I have the P number. I have to find out who are the employees. So from the works on table, I can find out who are the employees who are working on that project. So how do I write that? In the works on, I will only take out these 2. Which are the projects on which employees are working? That information I will get here. That means your employee project is a table which is now going to contain all the employees details. I mean, all the employees working on all whatever projects possible. All that you are trying to retrieve from the works on. Basically, it will contain all the details of works on table. Then what we are doing? See here, we are applying a division operation. You have this complete table is this one, which contains the employees working on each of the employee working on different projects. That entire details is there in your employee project. You have simply taken it from works on. Except that you have removed some attributes, that's all. And then you also have the projects which are working in or which are controlled by department 5. Apply the division operation and then you will get who are the names of employees. Names, of course, you are removing later. Then you will get who are the employees who are working on all the projects controlled by department number 5. So it's very simple. This is your R. The yesterday's example we took. This is your table R. And this is your subset of this table. We should have one attribute in which is there already in employee project. So employee project already has an attribute SSN and P number. Department project, we have taken P number. So this is a subset of employee project. Employee project table contains all employees who are working on all the projects, 1 to 10, let us say we have projects. But here this P number is what? Only projects which are in department number 5. But still it is a subset. So R divided by S, I will get the result in terms of the attributes of R that we saw yesterday. Correct? From that I am trying to pull out L name and F name. Because we want only the names of employees but not everything else. Did you follow this? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. At least finally I got some answer at least. It looks like as if I am talking to some walls. Huh? It is very important you understand these two, relational algebra as well as SQL. Only knowing SQL is not sufficient. You should know how we have to use it here. Only knowing the division operation is not sufficient. You should know where you can apply it and how you can apply this division operation. Okay, let me take one more query. Yeah, see this. Retrieve the names of employees who have no dependents. All the employees need not have dependents. This is not, there can be some employees who do not have any dependents at all. How do you find out? Any answer? How do you find out? We have to find out the names of employees who do not have any dependents. Okay. Now, let us, what are the tables that we have to access? This is our main table, dependent table. And we should also access our employee table. These are the two tables that you have to access. Now, dependent is a weak entity. We know that, correct? So we have a partial key here, which is dependent name. Combination of dependent name and SSN is your combined primary key for dependent. Okay. Now, every employee who is having some dependents, all their details will be there in the dependent name. Now, if an employee may also not have any dependents at all, that is also possible. Then how do I find out those names? Any logic? Anyone? All the dependents who are in this table, there are, let us say, 10 records in this particular dependent table. All those 10 dependents have somebody related in the employee table, correct? But there may be some employees here who do not have anything here. I don't have any dependents, let us say. Then my name will not come here. My ESSN will not come here at all. I have to pull out those ESSN. Hope the question is clear. Because if you remember the ER diagram, we had put a partial participation for this, at the employee side, because every employee need not have dependent. Whereas on the dependent side, it is always total participation. If you are a dependent, then there should be an associated employee with you. Otherwise, you don't exist at all. Is it not? Right. Now, how do you go about this query? First, what I am trying to do here, look at this. We have solved examples like this, but you are not able to tell me. What are we doing?
Employee minus department.
Yeah, ma'am. Your voice is so bad. Okay, listen in. So first what I'm doing, I'm fetching the SSN of all employees. Now when I say, when I apply a project operation on the attribute SSN on the table employee, what am I going to get in this all EMPS? I'll get the SSN of all the employees. 20 employees I have, I'll get all the SSN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 20. So this all EMPS is going to contain all the 20 SSN number. Now, who are the employees with dependents? Who are the employees with dependents? That I will get from dependent table. I am applying a project operation in the dependent table, pulling out only this particular attribute, and I will store it in this table. So this EMPS with dependents, I will have SSN number who are all having employees. So who are those who don't have dependents now? I'll do a minus operation. That's all. All EMPS contains all the employees. EMPS with the dependents contains all the employees who are having dependents. So this minus this, I will get all the employees without dependents. Very simple. It is something like we did, if you remember. Students who did not borrow books. Did we not do a query like that? It is very similar to that here. And here in employee without dependents, I will get all the attributes. I don't want all the attributes. What do I want? I want only last name and first name. So I will again apply I'll again apply a project on that and retrieve only those attributes. Can anyone say what are we doing at this part? Can anyone tell me that? What are we doing at this last step and why are we doing? Anybody? Minus operation, that is, yes, fine. To this question, any answer? Why are we doing what we are doing? Last step. Can anybody tell me? I'm waiting for your answer.
Ma'am, can you please once again show that?
Sorry, Raman, I'm not able to hear you. Tell me again.
Ma'am, can you please show the last question?
You want to see. Okay. Now you tell me. What are we doing in the last step? The third step, we are applying a minus operation. That's fine. So we get to know all the employee without dependents will have all the employees who are not having dependents. That's fine. What are we doing in the last step? Why are we doing it?
Ma'am, last I think it's the Cartesian product.
No. No. Anybody else would like to answer this?
Ma'am, projecting the result.
Yeah, who's this? Yes, come again. What is the answer for the last step? What are we doing there? Anyone? Nobody? See here, what are we doing here is, we are applying, we already have this data. In this table, employee without dependents, we already have all the SSN, who do not have dependents. Remember, we have just one attribute in this table, that is your SSN. But what we have to retrieve is your names. Okay. So what we are doing is, we want the names now. So we are applying a natural join. This is a natural join, not a Cartesian product. No. Why did we apply a natural join? Or why do you apply a natural join? You apply a natural join because if you are going to have duplicates, the same value will appear twice. Then we don't want the same column to appear twice. In yesterday's, I think 1 or 2 days back, I told you in the class, natural join you apply because you want to eliminate the duplicate column. That is why you are doing that. And when you duplicate, when you can apply this natural join, you can apply natural join only when the attributes have the same name. Okay, that is why if you observe here, if you don't have the same name, then that attribute has to be renamed, and then only you can apply the natural join. See what we have done in employee table, we have the attribute as SSN. Okay, in the dependent table we have the attribute as ESSN. Both are same, but the names are different. So what did we do here? Employees with dependents, when we stored, we renamed ESSN as SSN. I don't want to store it as, if I don't give this part, then in this particular table I'll be storing it as ESSN, but I don't want to store it as ESSN. I want to store it as SSN. That's why I renamed it here. Okay, so once when now third step here, when I apply this operation minus, both the tables, I am applying on all EMPS minus EMPS with dependents. Both the tables are having the same attribute with the same name also, that is SSN. So your EMP without departments will have the attribute SSN. Okay, now employee table also has SSN. EMP without department also has SSN. Both have the same attribute with the same name because we have renamed it already. Now I can apply a natural join on this because I don't want that SSN column to appear twice. If I want to eliminate one column once, then I'll have to apply the natural join. When I apply this natural join, after that I'm trying to take this. Once I apply the natural join, I'm trying to retrieve only the last name and first name out of that. So that is why we are trying to do this. That's why I asked you what are we doing. Raman, you said we are applying Cartesian product. Cartesian product symbol is cross. Okay, this is star, asterisk. Both are different. You should be very careful with the notation. When I say R cross, yes, then in that case it is a Cartesian product. When I say R star, yes, then it is a natural join. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Any doubts, anyone, in this last step? So that is how we try to do it. It's not just enough to say, okay, we can apply minus operation and get the result. But why did we do that last part? That is very important. You should understand. Right. So these are some of the queries that we try to solve using relational algebra. So you would have got at least a hang of how to write queries using relational algebra. Writing queries using SQL, of course, we do practice it in lab, but relational algebra only in theory we learn it. So you should know how to do it. Any questions? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Answer your attendance, Anaga.
Yes, ma'am.
Abhilash. Akhil.
Yes, ma'am.
Akrut. Anusha.
Yes, ma'am.
Arvind.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Arifullah.
Yes, ma'am.
Dhanaka.
Present, ma'am.
Banu.
Yes, ma'am.
Bhargav.
Yes, ma'am.
Rahmatullah. Chaitra.
Present, ma'am.
Chandana.
Present, ma'am.
Charan. Darshan.
Present, ma'am.
Diksha. Dakshayani.
Present, ma'am.
Kishan.
Present, ma'am.
Harshit.
Present, ma'am.
Hema.
Present, ma'am.
Kumar.
Present, ma'am.
Jayan.
Present, ma'am.
Divya. Kaushik.
Present, ma'am.
Lakshmi. Lavanya.
Present, ma'am.
Manish.
Present, ma'am.
Manoj. Mohit.
Present, ma'am.
Yeah. Naval.
Present, ma'am.
Navya.
Present, ma'am.
Nikhil,
Present, ma'am.
Panindra,
Present, ma'am.
Pavan. Pavan is not there. Pooja,
Present, ma'am.
Purnima, Raman,
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi,
Yes, ma'am.
Rupak,
Yes, ma'am.
Sai Kumar. He's not there. Sameer,
Present, ma'am.
Santosh,
Present, ma'am.
Chadab,
Present, ma'am.
Charan,
Present, ma'am.
Sheetal,
Present, ma'am.
Shashank. Shashank is not there. Shivani,
Present, ma'am.
Soumya. Soumya is not there. Spurti,
Ma'am, Purnima present, ma'am.
Spurti is not there. Sri Vishnu is present. Sugandhini,
Present, ma'am.
Sushma,
Yes, ma'am.
Sushmita BS,
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita U,
Present, ma'am.
Tirtha,
Present, ma'am.
Trupti,
Present, ma'am.
Varsha Veena.
Present, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, Rahmatullah present.
Shashank present, ma'am.
Deeksha is present, Ramtullah is present, Mohit is present, Vishnu is present. That's all.
Shashank present, ma'am.
Shashank, you haven't seen at all. Charan? Charan is absent. Charan, Pavan is absent. Charan is absent. Then Sai Kumar is absent. Shashank?
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Soumya is absent. Spurti is absent.
Ma'am, present, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah.
Soumya present, ma'am.
Spurti is absent. Okay, so Spurti, Sai Kumar, then who's this? Pavan, Charan. 4 are absent. All right.
Raman present, ma'am.
Raman, I didn't tell no anything. I marked you present. I never said you're absent.
Ma'am told Pawan.
I told Pavan, Charan, Sai Kumar, and Spurti. That's all. Right, students. If there are no questions, let's wind up. Okay, we'll see in the next class, Monday's class. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.